up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we're locked in. This is the recap for episode 3 of Power Book for Force. I gave the episode a 9. I had to rewatch it and I realized that, man, they're doing a hell of a job and we're heading in the right direction. Now, Tommy Egan, he continues to put his foot in his mouth, and it looks like McDowell might be on to their trail, but you know, this is Force and Tommy's going to skate on out of that. But we got to watch out for Mr. Don't Play, aka Tyrone Reeves, because he's going to be looking for Diamond and he's going to make sure to mess up his life every chance that he can get. Now, before we jump into this and break down this episode, if you like power content, breakdowns, theories, and predictions like this, then hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button if you don't see this at 100 likes. And we're on that road to 50,000 subscribers, so each and every one of you, I appreciate you. Now, the Flynn family, they're all over the place. And Tommy, he's pushing up on Claudia because he wants answers about Liliana. So let's jump into it. This is the recap for episode 3 of Book 4 Force. We begin the episode right where we left off, after the shootout between Little K and Tommy Egan. Now, Little K, he tried to kill Tommy, he started shooting, he hit everything but his intended target. He did kill a little girl and he tore up the Mustang. Now, Tommy wants to get revenge for whoever was shooting at him, and he knows there's only one crew silly enough to attempt an assassination on him, and that is treason. But Diamond is telling him to chill. We know that Diamond is under a lot of scrutiny and pressure from his PO officer to do the right thing. Now, him and Tommy have a disagreement on this, but Tommy wants to go talk directly to Jenard about what happened. But Diamond's like, let me do it because you're crazy. Well, Tommy goes directly to Jenard's house and they have a face-off. And he lets Jenard know straight up, whoever was in your crew that shot at me, you need to handle that because right now it doesn't look like you have control over treason. Tommy wants revenge, and if Jenard doesn't tell him who did it, then he'll go find who did it himself and he'll make it bad. I'm talking real bad. Now, Jenard is realizing that he needs to get to Little K before Tommy does, because while Tommy's making moves in the streets, Diamond is in the bed making moves in the sheets. Now, he's talking to the correctional officer and he wants her to help him out by moving that product because he doesn't want to mix business with pleasure. But she eventually tells him, listen, you're a convict, but if you need my help, I want some money off the top of those bricks. So she decides to help Diamond and Tommy bring jail. Stacy Marks has organized a Stop the Violence rally. Now, the mayor of the city is announcing that there will be a joint task force ran by the U.S. Attorney's Office. It's the FBI, the DEA, and Chicago PD. Now, this young man, he's having a speech about the people he knew in the community, how many people have died, and how it's affecting the community, and they all want to clean it up together. But at this Stop the Violence rally, we see CBI here, and we also see treason here. Now, Diamond, he got CBI out here working. Treason, they're out here in shambles. All of this is because Little K killed the girl. Now everyone's looking around the city and the surveillance has been beefed up. Pause. JP, D-Mac, aka Darnell, they finally have a conversation that needed to be had. And this is why JP ended up leaving, even though he didn't leave his son. His wife, ex-wife, felt like he shouldn't have been around because he was gay. So D-Mac doesn't know all of this information, but in between this conversation, Tommy shows up and he gives JP a gun. Now, this is already a bad move because we know how D-Mac is. D-Mac asked for a gun also. Everyone says no. JP puts the gun in the drawer, and of course D-Mac is upset because he doesn't have a gun at the moment. After the meeting, the task force is officially started and they're having their first meeting. Now, Stacy, she's letting everybody know she's going to be in charge and she's going to be running this, but we need to find out information because magically there was a blue car, Mustang, that was shot up last night. They all know that that's linked to Tommy Egan. Now, DeFranco and Stacy, they're married. They go in the back and have a conversation, and he's asking her about all of these things, and he wants to know what's going on. Because if things aren't going to be moving at the pace he wants, DeFranco wants to get in the streets to connect the dots, and he can figure out these murders on his own without the task force. Marshall and Big Smurf, they in the basement of the barbershop and they packing it up. They getting the work ready to put it on the road and make some money. Now, Big Smurf, he's doing it a little overboard because they got to sneak this into the jails. Shout out to Diamond for setting up this play. Now, Marshall, he's doing it the right way. Big Smurf, he's not familiar with this game and he makes a couple of jokes, but he needs to get back to work. Tommy's still trying to shoot his shot at Miriam. He also calls Big Smurf and says, hey, I need you to follow around Jenard. Keep an eye on him. Don't do anything, just keep an eye on him. Now, Kate has showed up and she wants to apologize to Tommy about everything that's transpired from the time he was born up until now. But she didn't know how to gather her words, and all she could tell Tommy was, I'm sorry I was a bad mom. Now, Tommy gets upset about this, and this is Kate, so he already knows how she acts. He wants to get her out of the house because he needs to continue to make moves. So at this moment, Kate is finally starting to find herself, and we're seeing this shift, and we're also going to hear about a little backstory on why Kate is the way she is. Mr. Don't Play, aka Tyrone Reeves. He's going to be an annoying PO officer. He shows up at Diamond's spot whenever he wants to, makes him do a urinalysis test, and he's also getting haircuts. This is what Bennigan never did. Now, while he's sitting in here, he's talking to Diamond, and he's just letting Diamond know, Mr. Sampson, that you need to keep your head on the straight and narrow and don't do anything wrong. Now, out of the basement, Big Smurf pops up. Now, remember, Big Smurf got that work on. Tyrone Reeves is looking, and you know he can sense that something is going on here. So you know he's definitely going to keep a close eye on the barbershop, and he's also going to be looking out for Big Smurf so he can probably catch him up and ask him some questions. Remember, Walter had to shift over to taking pills. When I mean taking pills, I mean taking pills as the product and putting it on the street. Real pushing P stuff. Now, he brings his son Vic with him because he needs his right-hand man, the heir to the throne, to understand what's going on. Now, the guy he's doing business with, he's going to help him out, but it's a bad batch of drugs. It's kind of too potent to be on the streets, but it's worth the risk. Now, Vic hears him make some derogatory names about black folk and no one caring about drugs being in their community. Vic doesn't like this, but Walt knows that business is business, and he's like, we don't have any problems here, because he knows he needs this money so he can settle the debt with Dublin. Tommy and Diamond both got a text message from McDowell telling them to show up right now. When they get there, torture is on the menu, and McDowell has the two people he suspects backdoored him with the Serbs and got his whole shipment took. Now, Tommy realizes that these are the wrong people because the people that set all of that up was him and Diamond. But what happens is McDowell, he tells him to hold the hand, and he knocks the hand off after he stuck it in liquid nitrogen. Talking about shattered, frozen, immediately. And this is just a sign to let Diamond and Tommy know, if you double cross me, this could happen. Up at the prison, play number 1 is in effect. Our correctional officer, Miss We Ain't Saying No Names, so nobody knows who we talking about. She lets one of the traffickers, the mules, bring the drugs in. She goes into the bathroom, places it in the popcorn, and then when she gives it to the inmate, as he acts like he's eating popcorn, he puts the drugs in his pocket. The whole plan is in effect, and there's drugs on the block now. CB4. Tommy met up with Walter because he still wants answers about Liliana. And he's also letting Walter know, I'm not stopping until this is over with. Now, Walter doesn't give up any names because he's always looking out for his family, and he's definitely never ever going to snitch. And if he was, Tommy Egan will be the last person he would tell. So him and Tommy, they're back into it. But it's not to the point where they're going to take each other out because Tommy wants the real killer. Now, when Walt gets home, he tells Claudia, you're cut off, money is gone, and Tommy is looking for you. Now, she thinks he's going to rat her out to Tommy, but unlike her, F stands for family, and he's finally standing up to her and letting her know, I would never tell, especially not on family, and you're cut off. Claudia is moving reckless, and she's solo out here because remember, she was sleeping with Doyle, and Doyle is the damn ops from Dublin. DeFranco goes and talks to little K's grandmother. Now, grandma don't play, but she does want the best for little K. But she also knows that the police lie, and she's not going to give up any information. Now, DeFranco is saying, I can save your son, I can protect him. But we know how it is in the streets. They don't care who they arrest, they just need someone to be arrested. Now, if he had any information on little K, then he would already pick him up. But grandma tells him, I will relay that information to my grandson. If you don't have anything else, you need to leave. Now, she does look up, and we realize that little K is in the top room, but DeFranco walks off. He knows something's fishy, so he's not going to give up that easily. Right after DeFranco leaves, well, little K is outside and Jenard catches him slipping, and he wants one good reason why he shouldn't get rid of him. Little K is scared as hell. Now, Jenard, he doesn't get to do what he wants to do because grandma comes out with cookies and she stops him. And she lets him know straight up, if you kill my grandson, you're going to have to kill me too, because I'm going to tell the police, and I know it's you because of your ear. So Jenard, he's upset, but it's good he didn't pull this trigger. But he tells little K, whatever I tell you to do from here on out, you have to do. Little K lives for another day. Tommy's still trying to seek revenge on Liliana. So Big Smurf lets him know, hey, I just seen Jenard. He was just with little K, the guy that did everything. Now he's like, good, we got that. Now he needs to meet up with Claudia. And the reason he's meeting up with Claudia is because he's getting one step closer to finding out who actually pulled the trigger. When he goes to confront Liliana, murderer, Miss Claudia, she gets very, very nervous. Because even though she doesn't give up any information saying that she killed Liliana, she knows that Tommy ain't playing around. And Tommy said, once I verify that you did that, then I'm gonna come and personally take you out. Security guards didn't do anything. Tommy dropped his weapon, but Tommy always finishes the job. The look on grandma's face tells you all you need to know about this scene when DeFranco came to talk to little K. Grandma knew he was on that BS. Now little K does talk to him. I always tell you to get a lawyer. Basically, DeFranco was saying everything that they know about the case, the same amount of information we had. But if they had any reliable information, then they would already be picking little K up. Now he's telling little K the safest thing to do is to help out. Don't throw your life away. But little K is in the streets, and he did what he did for Chewy, but he's still loyal to treason, and he basically tells the police, I ain't saying nothing. His grandma comes back out. They tell DeFranco to leave. Shout out to Rojas, J Moore Reviews. Well, he told the lawyer straight up, I don't care if it's $5 bricks. I'm not working for CBI. But once he seen that CBI was flooding the market, he ends up getting set up by our CO that we won't mention her name because we can't tell on nobody. And she tells him, unless you work for CBI, then we'll get you sent up the river. We'll put you in the hole for 1 year. Now, after hearing that, Rojas didn't want to bend. He didn't want to fold. But once he heard another year and he wasn't going to get time off his sentence, he went ahead and agreed to work with CBI and sell their product within the prison. The beginning of the end for Jenard is sad. We see Jenard driving off from leaving over at Little K's. Mirkovich ain't playing with him. He owes him money. He owes him territory. So what do? They stick him up, box him in, kick him out the Lamborghini, take the Lambo, and make him drive off. Jenard is in the streets. Tommy ends up killing Claudia's bodyguard because he's asking for answers. Who killed Liliana? He doesn't get any answers, and Tommy does what Tommy does. Shot him in the knee one time, and then a dome shot. Well, Tommy, you're just dropping bodies everywhere, and all of them are leading right back to you. Jenard is too far gone at this point. They stole his whip. He called up Little K. He gets in the car. Little K is asking questions. Little does he know, Little K is actually loyal to treason. He did what he did for Chewy, and that was it. Now, Shanti already told Jenard not to do this. Shanti gave him information about treason, not wanting to rock with him. Now, doing this, anyone in treason would say they can't trust Jenard. He ends up killing Little K because he's high, and he thought that Little K was talking to the police, which he was talking to DeFranco, but he didn't tell any information, and Jenard unfortunately kills the young man. Earlier in the episode, we seen Vic make a phone call. Now, Vic made a phone call to the police to stop a drug deal. This drug deal was the deal that his father had going on with the gentleman they made a deal with earlier. The reason he had this happen was so Walter will believe that, hey, they don't have any product, but they got your money. Vic wants to end this working relationship. So what Vic does is he stands up and he kills the man and tells his dad he was wasting our time because he wasn't trying to give us back 100% of our money, even though the product was gone. Now Walter, he knows that this was only one of his lifelines left to pay off Dublin. And Vic messed it up, so he tells Vic to clean it up. Jenard caught a body, and right after he caught a body, he went and caught 2 bags of the H. He got high, and that's the last that we seen of Jenard. We don't know what he's on, what he's going to be doing next, where he's going to be at. But remember, he's in Little K's car. DeFranco found Little K's body. It ain't looking good for him. Man, he done fell from the graces. He done hit rock bottom. Alright, there you go. The recap of episode 3 of Book 4 of Force. Let me know what you guys think about this. Is Diamond going to be able to make this prison thing work? And is Jenard going to be able to shake back? Because right now, the 2 brothers, man, they are in the blender, according to my brother Brillo. And the Flynn family, they're very, very dysfunctional. So let me know what you think about episode 3. Tune in tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do the live after show discussion where I break down each individual character and tell you the story behind the story. I'm on that road to 50,000 subscribers. So if you like this kind of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.